Good afternoon, and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X, and today I'm gonna do, and I love this series. I do. It's smilthy. It's gross. It's nasty. It's wonderful. It is prison school. I'm gonna do Mako, if I recall correctly. I believe it's Mako. I'm terrible with names sometimes. Anyways, there's obvious reasons why one would love this character. Two large reasons. We're not drawing those two large reasons today. We are going to be doing her head today. So, Mako is, I guess she's basically the direct, is Warden there? I guess she's the main guard of the prison school. She's she's 6.5 feet tall, sort of a sadistic dominatrix that beats up the boys.
I've only seen bits and pieces of it, but from what I saw it was pretty funny, so I can't, my commentary on this is going to be very limited. Well, that, and I'm also running on like 4 hours of
Oh,
sleep.
it's okay. I actually am not watching Prison School at the moment. I just kind of wanted to draw a type of character that I wasn't normally drawing, and then I'm like, oh, I remember her. She's funny. Oh, hey, Joe, how's it going? Yeah, two very large reasons. I adore this character on multiple levels, and I admit one of them is the cheap level. I am a sucker for Jessica Rabbit style characters. I just am. Probably because I'm approaching my mid-40s,
No,
and I'm male.
because you've had those fascinations with those types of characters even before you were approaching your 40s. So
It's true. I was approaching my 14s, and I had.
exactly. Just like Kirby.
Oh yeah, and what I adore about this character, and it's not that she is this perfectly strong dominatrix type. It's that I love characters where there's something either awkward or wrong with them. And what I love about her is, and I haven't seen past the original first season. Apparently the second season is on its way, freaking finally. I haven't read the manga, but there's something about her that's a little disbalanced, and she solves her problems via beating the living tar out of these dudes, which is so funny. SMDH.
Shaking the damn head. Eric Whalen.
That is I like that. I haven't seen it before. I'm going to have to memorize that. That's great.
Yeah.
True. I mean, there's many, many wonderful things about her. But what I like is, and it's kind of, well, it's like one of my favorite scenes because it's so weird. I mean, there's a lot of, some of her just beating these dudes is so Looney Tunes funny that, yeah, they're great scenes. But the one weird scene that I like, because it is inexplicably strange, is there's a scene while the rest of the prison girls that are containing these poor dudes are having their normal meeting, and she's like in the background, like working out and sweating really hard. It's not even sexy. It's just weird. It is just really strange. And everyone's complimenting her on how well she sweats, and I'm just sitting there the whole time going like, what the because she's like this super fit, physical, can probably wrestle any dude to the ground, beat the tar out of him kind of character. But there's something disbalanced about her, and it's kind of awesome because it's weird. / she's kind of hot in so many inappropriate ways. I don't even know how old she's supposed to be. She's not built like a teenager.
None of them are.
Well, a couple of them are, but it's usually the guys. The girls are kind of advanced in female foo.
It's anime.
Hmm?
It's anime.
It is. Well, it's like perfectly. So it's like there's a bunch of categories of entertainment, and one of my absolute favorites, but it's so rarely done right, which is why I don't usually say anything, is the smilthy category. There's smart entertainment, which I love if it's done right. There's filthy entertainment, which is, depending if it's done right, can be quite good. But smilthy is the perfect. It's like peanut butter and chocolate. And I had a friend of mine come over, and we were game night / cartoon night when we would just, it's a Friday, we're exhausted, we either play games or put cartoons in. So I ambushed him with Prison School one night. And I'm like, dude, if this is not your thing, we'll turn it off. He ended up watching it. His mouth was hanging open the whole time, and he was laughing. He's like, I'm so uncomfortable. And but I'm laughing so hard. And then he went and he finished the series by himself. And he's like, that was so good. And he's like totally waiting for the next season. And it's just done in just this wonderful kind of like genius inappropriate. Like they really hit these moments where if you have any level of decency, you're squirming. And you just kind of think, you're like, oh, this shouldn't be happening. And it's just, they hit all the right kind of dumb baseline humor where they really made the jokes work, And in actuality, what I like is every character has these wonderful quirks. And hers is that she's just sadistic and extraordinarily, like, ridiculously hot and weird. And that's so funny to me. I don't know. I think part of the reason is they've taken a clearly defined fetish that some people are into, and they just they did it / turned it against the audience at the same time. And I can't help but laugh really hard continually.
Yeah, the stuff that I saw of it was, I laughed pretty good at some of the stuff. Just a lot of the comedic reaction, because of course I love all the wild takes and goofy
Yeah, those are
stuff.
amazing.
And they just did a really good job of just making it as wacky and weird and wild takey and just sense of humor is twisted and in all the weird right ways, and yeah, it was pretty fun just from from what I saw of it. So yeah.
Well, like one of my favorites is, and I forget the guys are always screwing up. And I'm not saying they deserve to be sadistically beaten like they are, but they usually give her some kind of, sometimes they give her reason to, punish them. And I just remember this one, she just picks this dude up and pile drives him into the ground. I mean, flat head into the solid ground, wonk, and then you see him hit the ground, and then she just starts ground and pounding him in the chest, and then and then a murder of crows comes in and starts just pecking at him. Like, it's just so ridiculous. It's just so profoundly over the top, and like they did the Looney Tunes thing where, like, yes, you've seen this joke. What little thing are we going to do to the joke now to make it even funnier that you're not going to see coming? And the fact that a murder of crows came down and just started pecking at him. Until getting over there. Oh, yeah, dude, seriously. Okay, what Joe just brought up for those who are joining us later in TV land is they have this whole, like, wonderful argument of which is better, the boobs or the butts on girls. I will not go into it because it ruins the rant if you decide to go see it. But you're absolutely right, man. It's those guys in Sony wins. Yeah, and I just could not stop. It was one of those wonderful moments, especially the visual joke of her climbing up the window and you're only seeing her chest, and the guy could not figure out if he was looking at a chest or a butt. And it sounds so stupid. And it's dumb baseline body humor. But they somehow made it really, really funny. I mean that's the thing. I don't get me wrong. I love Adult Swim and all that, and I'm in for some stupid humor especially when I'm tired. I love me some dumb humor. But sometimes Adult Swim just makes it so stupid that you kind of go like, "God, guys, could you spend a few more minutes on that joke and added a little something to it?" You know, and with Prison School, I'm not going to say they spent like an hour on every joke, but it was clear to me that either whoever was writing it spent time really making all the jokes really work, even if they are just filthy, disgusting jokes. Or whoever wrote it was just so talented at doing dirty jokes that it just like really, really, really worked. And the ones that weren't as funny, you could at least kind of just shake your head and go, wow. Wow, man, you went there. And what I love is that some of them weren't just quick, like, joke. They were setting you up sometimes for really uncomfortable situations several episodes down the line.
I mean, it's one thing that the Japanese are good at, well, lots of things, but like when it comes to a lot of their like just silly potty humor, body humor. I think a lot of that comes from the fact of not being restrained, as in a sense of they have a line where they won't cross when it comes to adult stuff with all like the pixelation and all that. But they step up and they toe that line with a lot of their not strictly adult stuff. So I mean, you can have the ecchi stuff basically.
Oh, it's what I love. That's what I love about them. They go, in public we will not fly our freak flag. In animation, it's entirely a different matter, and we will fly every freak flag we have ever found. And they will just fly that freak flag over and over again, and it's so funny. Like there was one, it was back in college. Do not ask me what the title of it was. It was one of the many thousands of OVAs that came and went. But it was funny because the entire cast were essentially, it was a whole cast of gay heroes. And it was the main lesbian character was trying to get her girlfriend back from the pretty boy villain. And her sidekick was this big thuggy gay guy. And the whole thing was just so inappropriate. And when I mean that the villain got it in the end, I literally mean that the villain got it in the end.
I vaguely remember that one.
And I'm not saying I'm not saying that it wouldn't offend some people. I am saying, however, that I could not stop laughing. Because they just did not care what you thought they were. And I don't recall them actually ever really being insulting. It was just Japanese inappropriate humor, which I absolutely love them for because, well, frankly, I'm tired of people being so guarded all the time. We should just kind of really laugh at stuff, you know?
Remember Ping Pong Club?
Oh, Ping Pong Club. Oh, yes. I want that on Blu-ray.
I was going to say, because as far as I know, I don't think we ever finished it, did we?
I don't think we ever did.
No.
Because it was back in the VHS days, and we only had so many,
yeah.
VHSs and stuff. And, oh my God, Ping Pong Club is that might even just be in the filthy category. That might not even be smilthy.
Well, definitely raunchy.
Oh, yes. Definitely raunchy, super inappropriate. And the thing is what I love is the clearly, obviously, insultingly white American guy. He was my favorite because they were just smashing with inappropriate joke after inappropriate joke of white American men, and he was so funny because of it. Oh man. And then I think honestly, no, I would put that under just square out filthy. There was very that when it was clever, but most of the time it was just brute force filth, and it was
Yeah, I consider
good stuff. You know,
more raunchy than filthy.
That's true. Maybe it is just raunch.
That inappropriate in the highest level. Jungle de Iku.
There's stuff in that bordered on illegal.
Yeah.
And yet I could not stop laughing at it. The reason why I bordered on illegal is because, well, it's a cartoon, so it's not technically actually illegal. But man, they got...
It involves a magical girl transforming 10-year-olds in very questionable ways. And
Well,
wow.
it's what they turned into, which was the part
And
that was
how they
super...
turned into it.
Oh, yeah. I was just... The first time I watched Jungle de Iku, my mouth was hanging open. I'm going like... They have no qualms over in Japan. And yet it really was incredibly funny. I mean...
I was uncomfortable, but I was laughing.
You were
so
laughing
hard.
harder than me.
Yeah, but I think it was probably a good, like, 60% this is funny, and 40%, oh my lord, I am so uncomfortable. I'm so nervous. Joe says, now you make me want to go back and watch Ogenki Clinic.
On the funny... Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too.
And I have one of the original manga of one of the not Tokyo Pop one of the original translations of those from back in the day. I'm still trying to figure out how I got it. I just remember we have it.
Well, and here's the thing, and I mean this. That's what's good about cartoons, is you can do almost anything, and people should understand that you're not being serious. Okay, I admit that there's some cartoons out there that they're not playing by those rules. They're really depicting something horrific.
Right.
That stuff off to the side. The stuff where they're just being inappropriate and funny, I'm sorry. I think that I know there's people out there, they want to protect this, or, they don't want to offend that, and I get it, and I know your heart's in the right spot, typically. I just look at it and I go, it's a cartoon. They're doing things that shouldn't happen in reality because it's a cartoon. That's, as long as you're not being outwardly hateful,
Right. Well, that and as the British say, you gotta take the piss out of things.
That's where I come from. That's exactly right. That's where I come from.
Joe says I have most of the complete manga series. Nice.
No, you're talking prison
Clinic.
school?
Ogenki Clinic.
Or Ogenki Clinic.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
I've never actually seen the manga for Ogenki Clinic. I've seen quite a bit of the anime, which is just that's just I love the doctor. The nurse is the nurse, but the doctor is funny just because of all the ridiculous phallic jokes with him.
his hair and his mustache.
With his hair and his mustache, exactly right.
See, I thought
Filthy. No,
we
no,
have,
just filthy.
We have one of the volumes, and I think I got it from, I don't know how I got it, but I have it, and I think it was one of the ones that was translated by Studio Iron Cat.
Could be.
So I think that's probably how I got it.
Could be. I know they were the ones handling it for a while.
Yeah, so I think that's how I got a hold of it. Yeah, was out of print. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff is. Unfortunately, there was some bad stuff that went down.
Yeah.
So a lot of that stuff, unfortunately, got lost to the ages. So if you have your copies, hold on to them. And we have
That was a shame.
Yeah, we have a ton of original, like from Japan manga and translated manga of stuff that we will probably never see here again unless somebody just decides to go, hey, let's just do a giant compilation. And so I'm holding on to those because it's good stuff,
Well, that's So that's what I like about the kind of the inappropriate stuff is has a tendency of being more of a rarity because it's not typically always carried. You know, there's just titles out there where regardless of anyone's opinion as to if they're actually good or not, it's irrelevant because they were kind of that weird sort of niche. They're harder to find. You know, I mean, even more popular titles from Japan, Urusei Yatsura or whatever, back in the 70s, you can still find that stuff easily enough. But there's some stuff where you just, including some stuff where I just go like, isn't even in the, like I would even say obscene or
the ecchi stuff. Yeah.
well, even like stuff like Bastard Destructive God of Darkness and Combustible Campus Gargris, where I just want a Blu-ray of those, like badly, like they're awesome, and you just can't find them.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't repeat that. Oh, Genki Clinic was funny. That's what. That's what I mean. Is it wasn't to my recollection ever mean. It was just naughty.
Yeah, and it
and
was
funny because of it.
Yeah, it was literally tongue in cheek, and they didn't like go into like they didn't cross over into adult like pornography state, but they got close, but they didn't,
mildly. They did it mildly.
They didn't cross over into full on hentai.
Oh, super close.
Like I said, they didn't cross over. Because I the one I remember, I think this is the one that the volume that I have. They were talking about the one guy, one of the patients had was it a narcissism fetish? Well, I think it was it was like a pedestal fetish where he like put his girlfriend up on and would worship her and all this stuff, and it was some weird thing where
such a great show.
At the end of it, both the guy and his girlfriend or wife or whoever like became like bodybuilding god and goddesses. We're all tanned and bronze, and we're both standing there in like the bodybuilding poses, just admiring each other with their like lips puckered out and stuff. I just remember laughing at that, like, because she was trying to get him help for it, and they just ended up both being like that.
Yeah, that's what I love about when the Japanese goes and they have fun with that stuff. Because honestly, okay, the stuff that goes too far, wow. Okay, I've seen some things where I wish I didn't see. I'm still trying to kind of socially explain some of the things I've seen animated, but the vast majority of it, you're just going like, you guys were just having silly fun. You were a bunch of 20 to probably 50-year-olds locked in a warehouse being 5-year-olds. And it's so funny.
They had a great premise. The only sex toy that helped people with their issues. They had a balance of naughty and wacky fetish humor.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was really just, I suppose the term would be, it was sex positive, I think is the current term.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good series. And the funny thing is Prison School, to be the flip of it, I'm not going to say that it's not. It really isn't sex positive. They really just turn everything against you, which is so funny.
Well, it's bringing, to me, it was bringing that and I don't know if it's a. Well, it can be classified as a fetish. I'm trying to
it's very fetish based.
Yeah, I'm trying to creep around the going into the adult situations, keeping it PG-13 as much as I can here.
Yeah.
But until like the dominatrix and the humiliation type stuff, and it's like again like. I will not judge, and it's not my area to judge. So they're just showing.
But they showed how funny it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they were
without being horrific. They were just being like, "Dude, this is funny."
Yeah, and it's like that's one of the best ways to basically normalize stuff is to.
What's his name? Was it Andre, the guy with the
Yeah,
big face?
Yeah, with the big face.
The big head,
Yeah,
the tiny
the
face?
Buddha. Yeah.
The big Buddha guy?
Yeah, that's Andre.
He was my favorite because he just wanted to be humiliated so much, and it was so inappropriate and so funny, and I'm just going like, dude, no. Dude, no, don't. No, dude, don't.
And he was just like the nicest, most innocent one out of the
Well,
entire
and he is,
group.
and he just, and they're showing his funny little sketches of the stuff he wants to happen, and you're just shaking your head, just trying not to laugh, and you're like, dude, no. Dude, don't, no.
Attaboy, Andre.
I know Mako is seriously hot, but no.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what was some of the other wacky stuff that falls into that genre that when we were coming up into the 90s anime stuff, because we watched quite a bit of that just goofy stuff.
That stuff was some of the most fun stuff.
Yeah.
Like I either got into stuff that was just really kind of Looney Tunes-ish and fun, hence a lot of the American stuff that I do, or I got into the really big, epic kind of huge series with the really long, complicated stories and stuff, and Fist and JoJo's Bizarre Adventures,
Nadia.
and Nadia, and those were really great. Or I wanted to just be like, dude, put something in and blow my mind, and you just get some of these shows where you're just going like, they did what? Dude, I gotta see that. And those, I just loved those so much because it's not that necessarily they were all really great as much as they were all like really fun. And the ones that weren't so hot, you're like, oh, that was one shot, blah, yada yada. But man, when you got the some of the stuff out of Ping Pong Club, or you get stuff that's the stuff out of like prison school, my mouth is just, the jaws are hurting from me just grinning and smiling and loud, going like, no, don't do that,
Ping Pong Club, the sea turtle laying the eggs scene.
Oh, the sea turtle laying the egg scene. At home, if you don't know Ping Pong Club, and we say the sea turtle laying the egg scene, you're like, how could that be wrong? I can guarantee you that will scar you. It's just like, I'm just going like, oh, dude, don't. Don't do this. I'm watching it. Don't do this. Don't show me these things.
Oh, they did it.
Oh, they did it. They totally. Oh, no.
And Joe says, just don't watch Living Sex Toy Delivery. I have not heard of that, and that sounds frightening.
Oh, I'm going to have to look that one up. Tell me it's funny. Tell me it's wrong and funny. Tell me.
If it's a comedy, then I'll take a look at it.
By the sounds of the name, that has the pattern of something intended to be funny.
Yeah. What was some of the other? I was a Butt Attack Punisher Girl.
Oh, Butt Attack Punisher Girl Got a Man, and Butt Attack Punisher Girl Got a Man are. Those are spectacular. It's a revenge story! Thank you.
Right on.
Yeah. That's what I needed.
Alright, I am going to do my usual, let's look this up and find out, so let's
Yes,
see.
please. I want to see what this looks like.
See.
From the maker of Butt Attack Punisher Girl Got a Man.
Boy.
Which is just a name by itself, honestly. That is a work of art.
Joe says it is messed up and dude got his revenge.
Wonderful.
Let's see. That's all of the episodes on various websites. Let me see if I can just find what it's about. You can watch it. I want to read a synopsis. I don't want to watch it right now.
You don't want to read the synopsis. You want to bathe in the insanity. Hit play now.
Alright, Anime News Network. Here we go. Alright. Let's see. Plot summary. Shoji, a moving company employee, is invited to a party where he is drugged and molested repeatedly by several women. Later he awakens inside a cardboard
Japan!
Later he awakens inside of a cardboard box that has been placed on the
No.
railroad tracks
No.
with a suicide note enclosed.
No.
As he begins the task of hunting down the women that abused and tried to kill him, he plans his savage revenge.
That sounds ridiculous.
That sounds a little harsh.
And dark.
Yeah, pretty. That's a little dark.
That sounds a little dark, guys. Oh, that is so funny.
And an image of something. I'm missing the cover.
What the?
Let's see. 30 minutes per episode. 3 episodes. Yeah, that's all they have. Everything else is, hey, watch this. I'm like, I just want to read it. See if there's another synopsis. Oh crud, that's an adult site. That's gonna let me clear off the bugs on that one.
Yeah, skip it. That's the funny thing is a lot of people are hearing what we're talking about and they don't necessarily realize that some of the stuff we're talking about isn't actually specifically like adult like that. It's just adult in a funny way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes you get a little bit of the naughty, I guess is the right way to say it. Like prison school, there's actually not a lot in the way of sex in it.
It's just all,
they just abuse you with what is there, which is so funny.
It's all just like I said. It doesn't cross the line. It just
it gets real close though.
Excuse me. See, I'm trying to think of what some of the other just wacky stuff. I remember we were watching. Oh man.
See, it's what I love about today. A lot of stuff is available. And it's not that I miss it because it sucked, but I'm kind of glad we went through it in the years where it was that way, where stuff wasn't available, and stuff was like, this dude over in Utah has a VHS tape. You know, so it was like stuff was hard to find. You know, and I'm glad those days are over because now I can find stuff. But it was also like now you can kind of get like everything, so it's not really like a treasure hunt that much anymore.
Yeah, unless you're looking for the stuff that we
like
watched.
Bastard, Destructive God
that
of
we were trying to
Darkness, yeah.
find.
Really, Japan? Really? You can't release that? It was amazing when it came out, and then just nothing.
Yeah, what is it? Maybe it's we just haven't seen it. What is it called again? It's Bastard,
Just
right?
look up Bastard.
Yeah. Bastard.
Usually the subtitle under it is Destructive God of Darkness, but
Yeah.
it just goes under Bastard, really.
Bastard anime Blu-ray.
And last I checked, it was non-existent.
Kelly's not here. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Yep, just DVD. Which is available.
And the last DVD I found was like $90 or something.
Oh, this one's from this one on Amazon is like $17.89.
Oh, that's not bad. What I loved about that is the guy that did the manga for Bastard was an adult manga guy, and so he got bored and was like, I'll just do an epic fantasy with a little bit of like silly naughtiness in it. And so that's like, to my knowledge, that is the only thing he did besides his like adult work. And I'm kind of going like, dude, this is awesome. Like, no offense to your other stuff, but could you do more of this? Because you never finished animating it, which drives me nuts. It's like one of my favorite animes of all time, and it was never finished. They just dropped it. I'm like, oh, come on. At least with Combustible Campus Girders, to my recollection, they finished it.
Yeah, a lot of the wacky adult stuff I remember watching. I think it was like just OVA, so it was really short lived or short
Yeah.
series. So we watched it all and stuff, and yeah.
It's just a shame though, because okay, the great thing about Bastard was, and come to think of it, maybe we should do characters from that, because the characters from Bastard were so beautifully designed. That's what I loved about that dude's work. His illustration style was great. But they had the stupid, silly, etchy, sexy panty shot stuff. Okay, boom, that stuff aside. They had the big, ridiculous, fun, epic storyline stuff. Perfect. We now move that out of the way. Then they had several really beautifully dramatic moments that they cut all the sexiness, all the humor out of the way. They got an epic soundtrack. The best, my most favorite scene from Bastard is the fight between Dark Schneider and Thunder Empress Arshis Ney. And it's them trying to kill each other. And it's one of the most beautifully orchestrated fights. And it's so simple and it's so great. And it's one of the best wizard fights ever done, because it's so very simple and so dramatic and so painful, and the voice acting is great, and blah blah blah. And then it'll just do a panty shot the next scene where you're just going like, I'm not fine, do what you got to do. You know, I'm not going to complain, I'm not going to judge you, but you know, that's what I loved about it, was you got these kind of like, it couldn't, couldn't is the wrong word. It wouldn't stay on one thing. It would kind of like swim back and forth between like fun, epic stories, super drama, and ridiculous, perverse humor. And you were just going like, right on! Fun time! You know?
Well, it's like one that's a bit more toned down, but still is freaking hilarious. A Great Teacher Onizuka.
I wish that they had animated the anime closer to the manga, because the manga was amazing and the anime was okay, but the manga was so good. And the illustration style and...
Well, to be fair, we didn't get a chance to finish either, so maybe they improved it.
Oh, that's true. But what I do know is I watched the anime and I immediately felt disappointed. Because the manga was so well done. And smelthy.
He was so much fun. That was a great series. Great Teacher Onizuka. Well, heck, the laser disc that's facing you right out there. What shoot you? I see it in my face.
Oh, Ultimate Teacher?
Yeah, Ultimate Teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also one of the...
Ultimate Teacher is amazing. like, okay, anyone out there who hasn't seen the Ultimate Teacher, I feel sorry for you. Try to find it if you can. I think it may be available these days. Maybe. I have it on Laserdisc to give you an idea. Ultimate Teacher is one of the most perfect, ridiculous OVAs ever made.
Corey popped on. He's like, "Hey, what it do?" Oh wow!
Hey, what it do?
Yeah. What it do?
What it do?
What's up, man?
How's it going, dude? I never saw Ultimate Teacher. Ultimate Teacher is... Okay, I love the premise of it, and its execution was even better. The worst classroom in all of Japan, filled with the nastiest, most violent psychopaths possible. And so the school, because if I recall correctly, had killed the last teacher or driven him insane. I can't remember what it was. Has to get Gumpochi, the ultimate teacher, which was a man biologically crossed with a cockroach, because now he is unkillable. And it is this absurd conflict between the teacher and his psycho students, where virtually nobody is the hero. And it is so funny. and so inappropriate and so stupid and absurd and ridiculous, and I love it to death. And like I feel sorry for, you know, I feel sorry for the fact that a lot of stuff isn't made like it anymore. It is perfectly absurd. And a lot of people don't know it, which is a shame. It's not that you have to like it. I'm just saying that it's just one of those like little gems that few people have ever seen. LOL what? LOL, LOL what is exactly the right response. Okay, it's beyond Japanese East Side. It is... Okay, Assassination Classroom. I really enjoyed that one. It is Okay. Remove the Naruto feeling elements of Assassination Classroom and make it like a life and death struggle with a big ol' hit of acid. It is really screwed up. Like, as in, the thug students, you aren't sure if you're cheering for them or not until the ultimate teacher clearly becomes a horrific monster. Then you're cheering for the psychotic students.
It's like Cromartie High School, except the students are like super jerks.
A bit, yeah. A bit.
Yeah,
like all the classrooms are all separate gangs.
Yeah.
And they're all like scarred and stuff. It's just really ridiculous.
It was what late 80s, early 90s?
Late 80s, early 90s, I think you're right. I don't... What am I doing? What am I doing? It's
yes,
right here.
Yes, Corey, it is... Yes, Laserdisc.
Oh.
We still have Laserdiscs.
Whoop! Laserdisc, Ultimate Teacher. I literally had this sitting next to me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Take a look at it.
I feel so stupid. I'm like, dude, what? Maybe I could just pick it up. Put it in front of the camera. It came over in 1993. That's this Laserdisc version. Original 1988.
So, okay, so it was late.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, it's so funny. Based on manga by Etsuji Yamamoto. Oh, it's so good. It is so ridiculous. Ultimate Teacher. It's one of those ones where you're like, no, don't make a series out of it. Don't remake it. Just release it onto Blu-ray.
And it was his nemesis, Spider-Man.
Oh my god. Okay. As far as I can tell, I think Gampachi was supposed to be Indian. From India. Indian. So he was dark-skinned with dark hair. And his nemesis, which I think was a black dude. I'm not sure. He was dark. He had the kinky hair, but he was like black Japanese Spider-Man. And his web came out of his butt.
Like a spider.
Like a spider does. And it's just so messed up. It's all dramatic. And it's soundtrack.
Yeah.
Its soundtrack is stunning. With lots of just screaming and howling. It is so good. Note down, we need to do bastard characters.
Well, right now, after it's
Yeah.
on the watch computer.
Before I forget again.
I'm gonna write it down.
Because my brain just doesn't work well.
Let's see, another crazy good one. I just had it in my brain. Which was Golden Boy.
Oh, Golden Boy was good. I remember that. That was a little closer to ecchi, and it wasn't quite as clever, but it was fun. But it was fun. It was really fun.
I love the English version because of Doug Smith.
Doug Smith was hilarious in that.
Well, we used to know. We haven't seen him in years.
Oh.
But Doug Smith was an actual friend of ours.
Decades even?
Yeah, who did the English voice for Golden Boy.
Well, I think it was more or less your guys' friends. I didn't actually know him that well.
Oh.
I thought he was really a nice dude.
Yeah, he was absolutely just a sweetheart. But man, his voice, his thing for Golden Boy was absolutely hilarious.
He had a funny voice.
That whole entire scene with the swimming pool when he's learning how to swim with the little kids, and he's trying to impress the swim teacher with like all who had the giant.
Oh, right.
And so
Yes.
so he does the whole thing of like getting on the starter block, and he jumps, and he can't swim, so he's like splashing and gasping for air, and it's like on a straight
So
minute
funny.
of him.
That was good. I almost forgot about that scene.
And then when he finishes, he just pops up. So how was that?
Okay, I'm catching up on the messages here. I'm terrible at that stuff. Good, still original.
Van Acker, looking good and still original Eric Energy.
Thank you. Oh, okay. I haven't seen Golden Boy in years. I think it's, yeah. It's really funny. It's not that I'm going out and I'm like telling people, you gotta watch the obscene stuff. It's just that there's this category out of Japan that I love because they don't seem to put many rules on themselves, and so you're always not quite feeling safe. And there's something about literally sitting there going like, I don't know what they're going to do to me. Oh God, where is this going? And there's a handful of times where you go, I wish they didn't take me there. Like I said, I've seen some stuff where I'm like, no.
1,000-yard stairs.
Good.
Seen some stuff, man.
It's good that you were paid, I guess, for that. I don't wish to see that again. But the other stuff where you just go like, you're like the Da Vinci of fart jokes. You've touched me. You've touched me. Inappropriately, but you've touched me.
Let's see. Joe says, the wild beast inside you has awoken the wild beast inside me. Suck it to me. And then the main character gets KO'd by swim instructor. Yeah, he was to be up and beat the race. Yeah, Golden Boy.
Oh, man. And I think that's kind of, it's not to say that stuff isn't made anymore. It's just, there was like this wonderful period, and I'm going to probably say it was roughly late 80s to about 2000s, where stuff I think was forgotten about because it was all just previous. So I think people were making things knowing that they could get away with it, and then people would forget about it.
Well, I think it was also like anime was with that time period was like really coming into it. It was really starting to come into more of the known world.
Yeah.
And it was really like it was.
And then the censors started taking interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was really just
Not a fan of censors.
Yeah. Well,
Censors, not censors. I like censors. I don't like censors. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I lost my
I
point.
derailed you.
That's all right. Well, like I said, 4 hours of sleep and currently on allergy meds, so I'm a little.
Yeah, and I'm still a little burnt from the week, so I'm not doing so hot. I'm not doing so hot right now. I'm doing better than I normally do.
Yeah, you're actually doing pretty good. Mr. Da Vinci of fart jokes.
My opinion is, if you're going to do something, you do it as well as you can. So if you're going to do a fart joke, do your best to do a fart joke. If you're going to do ridiculous boob humor, then really try to, and I'm not saying push the limits, just make them bigger. I'm saying, no, push the limits and see what you can come up with and turn it and be like the Da Vinci of big boob jokes. It's I always hated that when people are like, you can't make that stuff funny, it's base humor. I'm like, of course you can make it funny. It's just harder to do it because you can fart in front of a 2-year-old and you're suddenly like Lewis Black or something. It's automatically funny. Even if you've killed that part in you, the switch still exists in your head somewhere that a fart joke is funny. To really make it fresh and funny, that's a challenge, hence why I'm impressed when people get it right. Yeah. The same with body humor and sex jokes and stuff. If you can still make it funny, that takes skill. That takes legitimate skill,
I agree. I mean, and on top of that, it's it's been done constantly. So like, yeah, trying to make something fresh,
That's it exactly.
original.
It's difficult.
Yeah, and even with just take even stuff that's not even original, just still trying to make it fresh. Fresh fart. Straight out of it.
You go and you
We haven't-
squoze that low-hanging fruit.
Well, you know. Low hanging, you gotta. Do
Well,
what
I
you gotta
wasn't
do.
going to go there.
Well, you did. That's
No, you did. I
this
was
is
talking about
low-hanging fruit.
squeezing it. Yeah. Like a squeaky toy. You know?
Let's see. Corey says, yeah, lol, yeah. Joe says, over 3,000 cc's of pure power with my legs. There's nothing like it in the world. Let me ask you what you can do with a gallon of gasoline inside you. Response: I think I would throw up. Classic Golden Boy lines before the race with him on the bicycle. Yeah. Remember the one really great anime music video that was set to Golden Boy with bicycle? And the part,
Yes.
yeah, when he launches off,
Oh.
it was like hit that really great part from Queen. Ring 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 ring. He's flying.
Bicycle. Yeah, I remember that.
Bicycle. Oh man, that was good stuff right there.
Oh. Back when I was in a fandom, I'm trying not to sound like a snob.
Well, that's what we
I
got.
just don't seem to mesh well with a lot of humans anymore, unfortunately.
We got our start time.
I think I'm going to go back in and do prison school again. I am really wanting that second season badly. And you know what I don't want? And I'm trying not to, again, be a snob, but I don't want to watch the live action version. I can't imagine that's why would you do that? There is a live action version of Prison School, in case you were unaware. I don't know why. Well, firstly, they literally took normal people and dressed them up like the Prison School characters. Does that sound like that would work to anybody? Okay, she's what? 7.5 feet tall, and 1.5 feet of it is assets. And I mean, there's nothing about this character that a human can play. It's not possible. You can't find somebody to play her. And the thing is, the actress that they got, super cute. In a weird sort of way, not too bad. But it doesn't work because she's not a cartoon character. I'm sorry. The reason why she's funny is because she's a cartoon character. Her, in reality, I don't know if she could exist in reality. I think that's why she's amazing.
Well, and I think Japan's been doing a lot of that, where they've been taking a lot of their anime properties and making them into live action stuff.
I just don't get why they do that.
Some of them were successful, some of them were not. Since I haven't seen a lot of it, I mean, I know Death Note, the live action was supposedly really good. Was it a live action Naruto? I can't remember. I don't think there was.
There was a live action JoJo's.
Yeah.
I only saw clips from it, and I have to say, of what I saw, it was kind of like, well, I knew what it was. But again, part of the fun of a series is usually the style that it's done in, and the fact that it's animated. Just making it live action doesn't make it better.
Yeah.
It just makes it live action and quite often wrong.
Well, it's
Again, I'm not trying to be a snob.
well, that just falls
doesn't
into
work.
my. And I was going to say complaint, but my comment of, you could have taken that money that you spent on making the live action and just gave us
Yep.
the second.
Yep.
They gave us more of the original of the animated.
That
stuff.
is why it falls under the same kind of thought process to me of why I don't watch The Simpsons. This is going to sound weird. The Simpsons was going, Futurama showed up. Futurama was a clear evolution to The Simpsons. So The Simpsons, in my mind, could finally end. With class. Because it has something to kind of grab a hold of the mantle and keep going. Then, and I realized later it came back, but then they canceled Futurama and they just kept making more Simpsons. And so at that point in time, I swore I would never watch The Simpsons again. 10 years ago, I then discovered it was still going. I'm assuming it's still going. Nothing against The Simpsons, but for God's sake, stop. But I didn't want to watch it anymore because so in the case of Prison School, I don't want to watch the live action version because they should have just made more of the animated version instead. And I'm going like, no, I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, let's see. It's like Corey says only in animation is funny. Joe says she'd be in a straitjacket in reality, too dangerous to have her hands free. Corey says like Dragon Ball Z should never been live action.
It would be the best you could do would be maybe do it in 3D, but I'm still going like, why? That just feels right to me in 2D. I'm not a DBZ fan, but it would be weird.
And Joe says live action Lupin the Third sucked.
Yeah.
And Corey says Lupin is great animated, which
I want to see the 3D version of that.
3D
It looks amazing. Yeah.
Jake showed me a pop. But yeah, and supposedly it's coming over here soon because they announced they actually showed the English cast and stuff and showed some of the English dubbing, so hopefully it should be coming over here soon. And I just want to see the movie. I want to see the movie without I want to see it subbed, of course, but yeah, hopefully it should be coming over here soon because they announced the whole here's the English cast and here's the release from G Kids, who's a movie who brings stuff over here.
Nice.
And stuff, so yeah.
Yeah. All right.
There's a question to read about the Simpsons over time, dumbed down Homer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, I actually really like Matt. It's Groening or Groening?
Groening.
Groening.
Yeah.
Matt Groening's work. I grew up on The Simpsons. I just don't think things should last as long as it does. That's just me. I and I like The Simpsons, but it is what it is. Futurama is one of my most favorite series of all time. Disenchanted. I very much enjoy that, and I'm having and I've heard people don't like it. I don't understand why. It's just I just really enjoy it. I just don't understand why The Simpsons is still going.
That's their cash. That's Fox's cash cow. Literally, that's their cash cow.
It's okay. I mean,
it's literally a multi-generational at this point.
Yeah.
It's if it hasn't overtaken Flintstones as far as
it must
episodes,
have.
I think it has been.
It must have.
It's literally families. There's grandparents watching Simpsons.
Isn't
with
it
their
like
kids.
a quarter century or more now?
Yeah, it's
Like
about
30-something years?
Yeah, I want to say it's about 30 years. Cause
Yeah, I mean,
the original with the 80s with Tracy Ullman and stuff.
I mean, I don't want to take it away from the people who are employed by it, and I don't want to take it away from the fans who love it. I just look at it and go, I just would rather watch something else. I just...
Joseph, does Groening still have control over the TV show? I don't think so. Yeah, I think I don't think he does. No, I think he left that a long time ago because I remember him saying that he just wanted to do. He actually was trying to do his way original series, Life in Hell. He wanted to do that as an animated thing, but they wouldn't let him do that because they wanted him to do more Simpsons.
Well, that's what I meant about why I didn't want to watch The Simpsons after they canceled Futurama on Fox. Again, no offense to the Simpsons fan, this is my opinion. Simpsons does not compare to Futurama.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some amazing moments on it, but Futurama, it was like they assessed everything that was right and wrong about The Simpsons and then went, let's create a fresh show now. And the Futurama it almost never missed a beat. It was just always really funny to me. I love the characters, the voice actors, and there's nothing wrong with the Simpsons voice actors. I think they all did a great job. I adore the cast on Futurama.
Yeah.
I just do. Everyone involved. Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone on that show, male, female, they all just did an amazing job. And yeah. Anyways. You guys have yourself a good week. We'll catch you later. And I'm curious who's going to end up on this side of the page now. Because I almost never have enough brain juice left at the end of the week to realize what I'm doing when I pick a character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it.
That's-
Hey, if they enjoy it, it's their thing. Let them have their thing. I don't ever want to take a thing away from somebody. I just don't care about The Simpsons anymore. Anyways, whoop! There we go. Did the duder? Oop, down, up, right. There we go. Okay.
Fastest shut down there and close it. Done.
I did the thing. Did the thing.
Done those.
Oh, I even shut the box. I shut the box. Whoop. And the brush. I laid the brush. All right, you guys have yourself a good week. We will catch you later.
Thank you always for joining us.
Yes, and thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Love the conversation. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, it's we have people in our house again, which is nice.
Which was maybe bad when she whooped their arse.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the people at home that don't have the little
Oh, the chat.
the chat box rolling by are like, "The hell is he doing?"